Okay, I'm just gonna do a quick video here on this is I think it's technically called rollerizing the reaction carrier, but it's the roller bearing isn't really even needed from what I read. It's not. You could use a bushing or a thrust bearing or whatever there. It wouldn't be any different because it's not, it doesn't really need rollerizing apparently. So what you're doing is you're taking up all of the gap or the majority of the gap between the reaction carrier and the center support, keeping it from walking around. Apparently that causes some problems with the planetaries. So I'm pulling it all apart here. I just got it set and actually did a video where you just couldn't see, so redoing it. So I have the tail section just in the tail of the transmission. It's a nice holder, holds it nice. So now what you're going to do is you're going to assemble all of this. You're going to assemble it with, well, first off, back up here just a minute. So I've already come in here and turned this down on the lathe, cut a pocket for the bearing, the Turbo 350 bearing that you use and everything else to rollerize. Like you use it for the rear rollerizing and all that stuff. So anyway, the pocket is cut. I believe I cut it 75 thousandths. If you've got time and ability to kind of take apart in and out of the lathe, it would be a really good idea. Or there's different ways you could do it, but if you could machine it in so it was perfect and had no shims, it would be better. Because this does weaken the carrier a little bit. I didn't do that. This is my first time doing it, and you learn. So next time I'll do it differently. So you're gonna put the bearing in. You're gonna reassemble this thing. Make sure that you have your all your bearings and your thrust washer and everything in there, and then just reassemble. Oops, I forgot that. Reassemble it really quick. Okay. Now you can use a dial indicator. I think most people use a dial indicator. I'm pretty used to using calipers for most things. Working in sheet metal, you kind of learn to use calipers pretty competently. So what I'm doing here is just holding basically a flat edge along this not very flat shaft here, and then measuring down. So then you're just going to take an average of four spots. It's how I'm doing it because that shaft isn't very perfect. So I'm just trying to get a good baseline measurement here without moving the calipers. It's 2.110. So this is how I do it. I would normally be writing these dimensions down, but I've already done this. So now I'm just showing, so 2107, showing kind of what I'm doing here. $2105, that's probably not a very good measurement. I never got that small before. $2112, so measure it in like 4 spots, right? Get a baseline measurement for it. Now you're gonna take this back apart. Get all the way back down to the washer. And now you're gonna want to shim. Shim it past what I'm doing is shimming it actually gonna put that other shim on the top. It doesn't fit down in there good. I'm shimming it beyond. You want to shim it past zero. So give it a good amount of shim. I've got there's about 60 thousandths of shim in there right now. The idea is you want to lift the center support off of the reaction carrier, and that'll find zero. I'm doing this in the wrong order here. That'll find zero for you, or give you a zero dimension. Okay, so now measure again, same thing, average it in 4 spots. So 2078, 285, 280. So you get the idea here. You're just going to be averaging it. Because that shaft isn't perfectly flat. 283. All right. So what I came up with is those shims lifted my center support off the reaction carrier 29 thousandths. So you don't want that bearing to be tight. You want a little bit of, oh, why is this not coming off? There we go. You want a little bit of gap there. From what I've read, it's 5 to 10 thousandths, somewhere in that area. So now what you're going to do is you're going to pull your shims out that you just shimmed it with. You're going to measure them, and you're going to subtract whatever the difference between your first two numbers were, or your both of your numbers, your average numbers. So mine was 29 thousandths was the difference. This is 59 thousandths that I had in there. So that brings it down to 30 thousandths, if I'm doing my head math right. 30 thousandths, and then I want 5 to 10 thousandths less. So I want my shim to be 20 to 25 thousandths, somewhere in there. Just happens to be one of those shims is 25 thousandths. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use that one shim in there. I'm going to reassemble this, and then I'm going to check and make sure that my numbers are still good, that it's still basically the same number as I had from the very beginning. That'll tell you that you have a little bit of clearance there, which you already measured. Okay. So here goes. And it's 2.112. So still has clearance, everything's good. I think if you could get it to actually move in here, I don't think it's gonna move because you've got that one-way clutch in there. It's kind of holding things and everything else. You're not going to be able to feel 5 thousandths anyway, but if it's super loose, you should be able to pick up on that and kind of feel a little bit of looseness, and so what that equates to, and what this does, is it keeps this steady, because apparently when the band is not on, this can rock around, and it kind of just, I guess it kind of chatters the gears a little bit in there and kind of makes it a little bit weak. When the band's applied, it keeps it nice and steady, but when the band is off, it makes it that way. So stay tuned if you want to see some more rollerizing 4L80 stuff. I've already rollerized everything on this. This was a problem. I got it shimmed too tight last time, so it kind of ate up the bushing. I just pulled the thing apart for a wellness check while I'm getting the converter respec'd. I'm gonna go through all of the rollerizing stuff just for some videos. So stay tuned.